Looking for magic cards? At flipsidegaming.com you can now use the promo code LVD to get a 10% discount on orders over $10 while supporting the channel at the same time. Alright, I guess we'll have to build an Esper midrange deck for best of 3 now. So I had an Esper midrange over here for best of 1. Those kind of skew towards beating the mono red deck. We'll have to adjust this for best of 3. So there's lots of ways to build this Esper midrange deck, since there's so many good cards in the Esper colors. So let's take a look here. Moment of Craving can move to the sideboard. So definitely want Hero, definitely want Thought Erasure. I've got Discovery on 2. I don't have to play all 4 deputies. Could go down to like 2 perhaps. Could go up on the number of Thief of Sanity. Dovin is cuttable. Probably want all 4 Mortifies. Seraph and Lyra is kind of a package that can also be cut. Bellhunt's probably fine in the main deck, Hostage Taker as well. So these are like the cards that could be cut or shaved from the main deck to make room for more value cards. Let's say we move 2 Lyras to the sideboard. Seraph is not really necessary. I've been relatively happy with Dovin in this deck, but it's also very cuttable. Just gives you like a Planeswalker, but we could just add Teferi in the 5-drop slot instead now. Can add 2 or 3 Teferis. Can cut down to 2 deputies. Not sure if we want Dovin. Can definitely add some more Thief of Sanity. Go up to 4. So we need to add 4 more cards. Yeah, Unmoored Ego probably wants to be in the sideboard. Let's do like 2 copies. Moment of Craving against the red decks. Deputy has been quite good against the mono-white decks. Just being able to exile a bunch of night tokens from them is very strong. So I could see adding Deputy in the sideboard for that matchup. Just the creature decks in general. Don't know if we need all 4 or if 3 is enough. Definitely want Duress. Don't know if we need all 4. Let's go with 3 for now. Yeah, we could also add the split cards, Consecrate, Consume, to help us deal with cards like Carnage Tyrant, for example. Yeah, I have seen people play with Disinformation Campaign. Could be main, could be in the side, maybe over Dovin. Plays well with our Discovery and our Thought Erasures. Yeah, I'd probably want some more counterspells in the sideboard. So we could add Negates and or Disdainful Strokes. Which one of the 2 do we prefer? Do we want to mix of both? Could add Vraska's Contempts. Got a lot of options. Maybe like 2. So right now we have Duress, Moments, Consecrate, Consume, Deputy, Unmoored Ego, Lyra. Maybe 2 Unmoored Ego is too many and we just want like 1. Since we're also going to be adding a bunch of counterspells to the sideboard anyway. The extra Deputy for the mono-white decks. 3 Duresses is probably okay. Yeah, we could add a Sweeper to the sideboard, although that kind of counteracts our Deputy plan against the creature decks. And I think our counterspells probably want to be Disdainful Stroke, Negate instead of the 3 mana ones, as they're a bit easier to keep up since we're not really a deck that takes full advantage of instant speed stuff. Cry or Golden Demise. They're kind of awkward with Thief and Hero. Seraph I like when we have Lyra in the main deck, but since we're playing best of 3 and don't have Lyra in the main deck, I don't think Seraph is as great. So we have 2 more slots in our main deck, and we probably want to fill the sideboard with a bunch of Negates and Disdainful Strokes. I could see something like the Eldest Reborn being good in the mirror, although it's awkward against Hero specifically. Could be good against the control matchups, I guess. I don't hate this sideboard in general. Pretty flexible. Bit of everything. Get to bring in 7 cards that are great against control. An extra one against the Nexus decks. Against red we have Lyra. Can always try Deputy. Moment of Craving. Negate's okay. And our main deck's already pretty good against the red decks. Yeah, Absorb could be okay. Has a bit more synergy with Hero, but 3 mana's pretty pricey to keep up. Like the 2 mana ones are so much better with Teferi as well. So we might just want an extra Teferi in the main deck. Like a 3rd one. And then we need 1 more card. How's our curve looking like? Reasonable. Maybe we just add a third deputy to the main. I guess Karn could be okay too. Haven't tried him in this list yet. One Eldest Reborn could be okay. Yeah, let's try one Eldest Reborn. See how it plays out. I guess Ixalan's Binding is pretty good too. Could be good against Drakes, for example. Maybe Kata Consecrate for a binding. What's our plan against the Drakes deck? Like the rest could be okay. Get to bring in Consume, should be reasonable against Drakes. Binding is okay, Lara's okay. What's bad against the Drakes deck? I guess Thief could be kind of mopey, but they're probably taking out their shocks. Unless we keep in the Thief. Hostage Taker's quite good against Terramander. I guess this is reasonable. Let's go. We will be on the play. This will be a sad mulligan. This one we can keep. And I guess we'll keep Discovery, look for a land. And if we do find a land, could keep it until after we play campaign. It's probably fine. And then we'll play this. Up against what looks like the Gates deck. Alright. Probably just gotta find a land here as much as I would like Thought Erasure. Alright. So next turn we get to campaign. Hope to find a white source so we can haunt on turn 4. Alright, so we will be able to cast our spells. Interesting, opponent on some sort of Jund deck. What is my favorite plane? I'm quite fond of Ravnica. Shivan Fire. Yeah, we're Junding out Jund deck here. Domri. Alright, so we can Teferi minus on Domri, seems reasonable. Should we be afraid of any haste creatures? I guess they could have the dragon. But then we just mortify to turn after. Yeah, they could have a shock to finish off the ferry, but that's fine. Alright, Phoenix. Phoenix could be annoying. We'll draw first here. Keep up the pace. Ooh, well, that's a good draw. So, get to campaign into Phoenix. Or into Contempt, or we can Bellhaunt plus Contempt. I guess Bellhaunt's better here. No attacks. Alright, let's see what their follow-up is. Just a land into Finality. Alright, fair enough. No time for a break. And their last card is status statue, so they might be on the Goblin Chain Whirler plus status deck. Well, if we can find a Surveil card, we're gonna be in business. And they find another Phoenix. Alright, that could be problematic. Ooh, Thief of Sanity. So I guess we'll just plus. They can give a hasty Phoenix. We can mortify it and then try and find an answer. I think that's reasonable.
We need to move quickly.
Could also minus with the Teferi on the token. And as soon as we find a Surveil card, we get to draw a million. Oof, Angrath. Angrath on Thief. It's pretty good.
Ever seen water burn? Your crew for my freedom? A fair price.
Are they gonna go after our face? Probably. So do we mortify just to prevent the card draw? Yeah, I'm guessing we mortify, although then we won't be able to protect the Teferi from the Phoenix. Yeah, this is rough. Hope to be able to find a Surveil card to make him discard the Phoenix. Alright, let's draw.
Hold that thought.
That's nice. Alright. We did it. Contempt is good too, but we gotta make him discard the Phoenix, I think. And then we still, I guess we still get to Contempt thanks to Teferi. So we'll start here. Thief is nice too. Alright, let's probably Contempt Domri before they get to minus him.
No fire, no steel.
Alright. So that went pretty well. How do we want to sideboard? Opponent's got a bunch of Planeswalkers, so Alderborn's gonna be nice. Find Finality. So I think this Disdainful Stroke is gonna be useful. They probably have a Carnage Tyrant, so Consume's gonna be okay, although it's kind of awkward against Phoenix. I guess Ixalan's Binding's gonna be good, although they probably have Vivian too, so it could be awkward there. What don't we like? Deputy, susceptible to the removal spells. So Deputies and maybe Mortifies. Not amazing. Could see cutting some Mortifies, it's bad against Phoenix. Hostage Taker can also be awkward, but it is a nice answer to Phoenix. Let's take out Hostage Taker. Alright, gotta speed up here. One more cut. I guess we'll cut one Deputy. Not sure about that one. Maybe one Negate. Yeah, Lyra could be okay. Won't bring in Lyra for now, since it lines up awkwardly against the potential Vivian. Why not Duress? Duress could be good. They still have quite a few creatures in there too, given that they're playing Domri. So, has a good chance of missing as well. This hand's not great, but I might still keep. So we could discover, we could wait until we play campaign first. I think we do discover here since we kind of need to find some action. Alright, does hero count? Probably. Don't know if we're gonna play hero before campaign. Alright, the rest is gonna take campaign. So that answers that question. Alright, could be in a bit of trouble here. Binding on Eldest Reborn could be okay. Could be awkward if they ever find a Vivian afterwards, blowing up the binding. Could also just Bell Haunt. That way if they play a Planeswalker we can pressure it. Like, I don't mind discarding to the Eldest Reborn as much. Is there any scary creature they can get back? Just a hero? I guess we'll Bell Haunt. And hope they don't play a second one. Opponent discard a Chain Whirler. So, confirms our suspicions. And now Daredevil plus Discovery, not bad. Yeah, if they discard a Planeswalker we can just Binding the Eldest Reborn though. What would they get back with Eldest Reborn? Probably a Chain Whirler. They'll start adding up. I think I'm into Binding on Eldest Reborn here. Could have kept land in hand in case of Angrath. So we could play hero into Deputy on Chain Whirler. Awkward thing there is if they kill Deputy, then they get back Chain Whirler, kill the token we just got. I guess that's still fine. Kinda wanna keep the Contempt for Planeswalker. So I don't love our position here. Really needs some sort of curve topper. That wasn't too bad. Alright, let's find some action. Alright, there we go. I guess we can keep both. I could also see keeping both and then not casting Discovery in case they have a Duress in hand. So what if we just draw Discovery, don't cast it, and just top deck the Ferry next turn? I don't hate that, we get to keep up Contempt. And then if they don't play Planeswalker, we can just Contempt the Chain Whirler so it doesn't pressure to Ferry. And if they do play Planeswalker, we just kill it. Alright, that one I will kill. Alright, let's draw some cards.
I can no longer stand by and watch. You know what? I'm not done yet.
And then next turn we get to draw some more cards, maybe Dispersal something. Ooh, statue. Ouch. Yeah, I guess I didn't consider that. They don't need to have a Vivian. Statue can also blow up or Binding. So now what? Dispersal bouncing Eldest Reborn, and then counter it on the way back? Or do we just discover? Yeah, we could Dispersal after they get the Ferry back, but that's 2 more turns. And in the meantime we have to discard the Disdainful Stroke. I think we discover. Alright, another Teferi will do. And then if we can just draw like a random card we don't care about, we can just discard that and then keep up Disdainful Stroke still.
Sorry, I'm late. Hurry!
Alright. Yeah, I guess we will discard Thought Erasure here. Hope we didn't have a second Elves Reborn. That'll counter. Alright, so next turn our opponent gets to get back something with Eldest Reborn, which is going to be bad for us.
That was uncalled for.
Alright, Dispersal could be good.
Let's skip to the good part.
Bellhaunt, you say. So if we Bellhaunt, we can still Dispersal. Alright, alright. Hopefully they choose to get back our Teferi and we can get it back with Dispersal. Alright. They will get one activation here. Lava Coil. Ooh, they should have activated Teferi first. That was nice.
Suppose that's how it was meant.
Consume. I think we'll take a hit from the Chain Whirler and just play Teferi plus for now.
Hurry.
I think we played.
Let's make another move.
Bloodfast is not bad. Thought Erasure. We'll draw first, I think. Although I guess we can set up our top deck with Thought Erasure a bit better. I guess we'll do this first. Alright.
Keep up the pace.
So Bloodfast versus Teferi. They're probably gonna get ahead on cards here in a second. But they will go down in life, and hopefully we can punish them for it. Ouch. It's a good one.
No fear, be monsters.
Think we keep plussing.
Hold that thought.
That's a lot of land. Alright. The problem here is if we ever find something like a Thief of Sanity, we can actually play it. Because of Angrath, so we'll have to minus with Teferi first. Alright, opponent's going down to 6. Down to 4. Thought Erasure's not bad. Just a bunch of removal spells. I guess we'll take the Sheevan Fire, since they've got infinite mana anyway. Contempt is good. Alright.
Let's skip to the good part.
So opponent gets one more Bloodfast activation here before it flips. They're gonna keep it in play. Siege Gang. That's pretty good. Got a plus here.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
More Teferis. I think we keep Teferi in hand. And I guess we'll play the land still. So what would be our best draw at this point? Not sure. So they're probably sacking a goblin here to finish it off. I don't think we want Ascanta or our own Bloodfast. Should have enough card draw engines. Ooh. Transform Bloodfast plus Rekindling Phoenix is kind of a combo. Alright. We're in trouble now.
Excellent timing.
So Teferi's gonna die.
No time for a break.
Thief of Sanity's gonna get lava coiled, but we'll still go for it. And our opponent starts gaining a bunch of life every turn. They did not sacrifice a Phoenix. Feels like they could have done that for free, since we were tapped out. They can sack a Goblin token to still kill Teferi.
Stop that now. Hardly my worst defeat.
Alright, another Thief is not bad. It's gonna force them to keep back the Phoenix. And if we ever draw a removal spell, we're in business. Alright, now they're gonna sack Phoenix, so they did miss out on 3 life last turn. Just a land. I'll keep the land in hand now, that way they might be disincentivized from sacking the Phoenix in case we have a Mortify. Because that would punish them for sacrificing the Phoenix here. But they're gonna do it anyway. And there's Angrath. Alright, well.
Your crew for my freedom? A fair price.
That's probably game. They can even sack the Thief to the Bloodfast here before it gets sacrificed by Angrath. Ouch. Would have loved that one.
Fire's out, but the embers burn on.
So yeah, we probably want more answers to Rekindling Phoenix. So I think Hostage Taker's coming back in, even though it can be awkward at times. And I want to see if Duress would be good. Like, they have so many creatures. Yeah, Duress is awkward. Like, it can have its moments, but they could just have a hand with Rekindling Phoenix and Siege Gang Commanders and Dragons, and it wouldn't do anything. They're still sacking Phoenix. Hopefully we can find a Mortify at some point to punish them. Yeah, Phoenix seems to be a weak point in our deck here. That was a nice find. Hellkite. Yeah, the game should be over now. We almost drew our entire deck. Drew quite a few more cards than the opponent even. Although I guess we put some cards in the graveyard with our split card. That should do it. So, let's adjust our sideboard plan slightly. Would Lyra have been good? I mean, she would have been reasonable, still dies to the split card. The rest I'm not sure about. Negates okay. I think Hostage Taker has to come in as an answer to Phoenix. And then I think Binding's probably kind of bad if they have the instant speed disenchant. Even though it does answer Planeswalkers, which would be the upside. I think Deputy's kind of bad. They have too much spot removal to kill it. Like, they seem to have a lot of answers to our Thief of Sanity, so maybe that's actually not great. And go with, like, 1 Duress and 1 Lyra. I think we'll try this. Alright, this seems reasonable. So do we Thought Erasure or do we Discover? Alright, now I think we Thought Erasure. Opponent kept a 1-lander. Alright. Do we care about the rest? I think we just take the Sheevan Fire so Thief of Sanity can go to town. And do we keep the land? I mean, they're probably gonna duress our Teferi, would be my guess. So we don't necessarily need land 4. I think we'll bottom that. Yeah, we do have to watch out for Chain Whirler plus status, but that's 4 mana. So Teferi's gone. And they did find the land. Alright. Bloodfast, sure. Alright, we get to connect with our Thief of Sanity for the first time. And Hostage Taker seems reasonable. Alright. Do we want to take a Phoenix? I guess we do. Could also statue to destroy the Bloodfast. Also makes a token with the hero. And our opponent packs it in. Alright, well, very grindy games here, but then somewhat greedy keeping game 3 from our opponents. Sweet. Alright, I think this is a keep, although it's not great. Could be the mirror match. I'll keep it to Teferi. I'll keep up Mortify in case of a thief here. Also, this is a matchup where we want to keep lands in hand to discard to late Bell Haunts and Disinformation campaigns. I guess they could be on a control variant instead of the mid-range one. Can't say for sure. Alright, nothing. I guess we'll Bell Haunt them again to check for counterspells. Instead of running out the Teferi. Alright, that resolves pretty smoothly. Another cast down. Sure. Discards lands. Yeah, they might have a Contempt for Teferi instead of a counterspell, but I think we tried now.
I know my responsibility.
Yeah, there's Contempt. Well, we have been getting a bunch of 2-for-1s, so
We need to move quickly.
the only issue, of course, is that we might not be able to convert Mortify into anything significant. Although usually they play Search for Azcanta. Alright, I think we discover for a threat instead of Thought Erasure. I guess that's fine. And we'll Erasure next turn. Alright, Mortify. Could have also waited until we can like play our creature and a multicolor spell in the same turn. But also want to be mana efficient here. Yeah, these Mortifies aren't looking great. Double Contempt. Sure. So I don't hate just playing the Deputy here as a threat to make a token with Hero. They might just have 2 lands in hand. So we're kind of hoping the opponent plays an Azcanta that we can destroy here. Do we Thought Erasure them? I guess we do. The Surveil itself is also pretty nice. Alright, Cam versus Inside Contempt, so they drew all the Contempts. Inside is pretty good here. Yeah, probably taking the Insights. Like, they still get to jumpstart it, which is bad, but... Alright. So what are we hoping to draw here? Disinformation campaigns, Teferis, Thief of Sanity now that they're out of removal, hopefully. And a Chaos Wrath. Alright. Hostage Taker would have been nice to take our own Hero of Precinct 1 hostage, for example, to kind of hedge against the Chaos Wrath. Do we play it out as a 2-3? I guess we do. Like, we could keep it, again, to protect another creature from removal, but... Well, our opponent's Teferis and Search for Azcantas aren't sticking around for long. Alright, now we're talking.
Trust me, no time for a break.
Ooh, that's a good one. Our opponent hasn't played many counterspells this game, so maybe they're just a removal heavy version, or they just happen to draw all the spot removal. No, that's bad. Now I feel like we're a bit behind.
We need to move quickly.
Alright, thief and hostage taker. Probably just keeping the thief. Could like keep both and set up something cute where we hostage take the thief to play around Chaos Wrath. Don't know if that's worth it. They've used all their contempts, so they will need to find an answer to this Teferi. Could be their own Teferi minusing. Or an Elderborn. Alright, that's bad. We can mortify the Elderborn, but we'll lose Teferi. No, I don't mind them countering that one.
Let's skip to the good part.
Yeah, let's just kill this. I guess we can wait until we untap here in our end step to play around Syncopate or Quench, although I doubt they play that one. But might as well. And I don't care about the discard part of Elder Reborn, but I mostly care about the third chapter, so might as well do it now. Hopefully they don't have a second copy. Alright, there's the ferry.
I am not going to sit this one out.
Minuses.
Not so fast.
Ooh, hello. So we could bait out a counterspell with Contempt, but if this works, it's so much better. Let's try. Well, taste of your own medicine, I guess. And that'll do it. Alright, as per control. So, how does our opponent sideboard? Definitely bringing in Duress, Negate, Disdainful Strokes, and I don't think we want Unmoored Ego. And then Ixalan's Binding is not great since they have Mortify, although it can have its moments. They could have Thief of Sanity in the sideboard too, I guess. So let's see. What don't we like? Hostage Taker, probably not great, even though could steal an opposing Thief of Sanity. Deputy is also not great. I think we will leave in Mortifies to deal with their enchantments and their potential sideboarded Thief of Sanity. Elder Reborn seems good, Teferi seems good. Maybe shave 1 or 2 Mortifies. Could be greedy. Yeah, shaving Mortify could be greedy. Maybe we just take out 2 heroes. And only shave 1 Mortify. I think we'll try this. Don't think we can keep a one-lander. Well, with the Scry, I guess we'll keep. It's not a great hand, though. Try and take a Search for Azcanta. Alright. So, opponent doesn't have any black mana. Like, we have a million counterspells in our hand, so none of these expensive cards should be resolving. But let's say something goes horribly wrong and we never draw a second land. I guess we take the ferry. Could take the Mortify in case our hero can get in some damage early. Let's take the ferry. better safe than sorry. Alright. No, still no black mana. Thought Erasure is not bad. So we've got a bit of insurance against Eldest Reborn now. So they've got double Mortify, so they get to kill the hero anyway if they draw the black mana. Could just take the Wrath in case they have double black. Could take Eldest Reborn, which eventually can get back the Fairy, or we can take a Mortify anyway, and then have the rest to take the other one if they don't top deck. Like, the thing is, we have these negates and Disdainful Stroke, so we'll get to counter the expensive stuff. So I feel like we just take the Mortify. And probably just need a land here. And then hope they miss on black mana for another turn, so we can leverage this hero. Alright, mono white over there. Thief is nice too. Yeah, I feel like we want to keep up our counter spells now, because if they do hit a black source, they can Eldest if we duress their Mortify. So we'll just get in for 3. And I mean, double negate stroke and the rest should be able to get us all the way. Alright, let's start by attacking. Not sure if we're gonna play this Thief of Sanity yet. I feel like we just duress and then wait. Alright, that gets absorbed, that's fine. I would rather negate whatever they play, make them spend their mana. Alright, so they did find black mana, it's gonna be Mortify, which we will negate. Alright, so we're not too far away from Thief with Counterspell backup. Yeah, if we just play Thief right now and they rip another black source, we're gonna be sad. So I think we played safe. Yeah. Kaya's Wrath. We could just let this happen. And then protect our Thief of Sanity instead. I don't hate it. Perfect. So now we get to protect our Thief against both of their removal spells, which I think outweighs our creatures being in play. Is there a reason to do the one over the other? I think we'll stroke here. In case I pick up a Mortify. Sure. And should we keep a land in hand for some reason? Don't think so. I think we'll attack first. That's a nice one. I guess we'll duress now in case of any negates. Or to fairies. And our opponent packs it in. Sweet. Well, that was a nice game. Opponent got stuck without black mana, and we were able to leverage that. And I mean, we mulled to 6 and had a 1-lander, so it was pretty sketchy for us as well, but our sideboard cards definitely worked out. Alright, let's keep it up. It looks good. I think we hero. We've got a Mortify for whatever scary creature they might play here. Alright, it's just a Sultai deck. Carnage Tyrant will definitely want a Thought Erasure. Could also kill the Lanorals. Double Hostage Taker. So probably want to wait with the Thought Erasure until they draw the Carnage Tyrant. I don't mind slowing down their mana by killing the elves. Don't have to attack with the hero, can just make a bunch of tokens. Alright, let's erase some thoughts. And try and keep a land on top. Ooh, double Vivian, that's rough. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll take a Vivian, and then we can take a Carnage Tyrant with the other one. Or a second Vivian if we think it's more important. Keep a land for Hostage Taker. So next turn they could play Vivian. Is Vivian more problematic than Carnage Tyrants? Do have Hostage Taker stealing Branchwalker, which could help us pressure Vivian. And then next turn we could Thought Erasure Carnage, maybe that's better. And then we can play the stolen Branchwalker as well as Thought Erasure in the same turn. It's close. Like, the sequencing works out a little bit better if we Hostage Taker now and then Thought Erasure plus Branchwalker next turn. If we Thought Erasure the Vivian now, how are we dealing with Carnage Tyrant? Just by trying to play a bunch of creatures, but eventually they'll find a Find Finality and then a Record Day. So I think we do this. Yeah, Teferi can also minus on Vivian. We've got more ways to deal with Vivian than we have Carnage Tyrant. Alright, that's fine.
The wild wasn't met. Meet my newest friend.
Got a Thought Erasure here for sure. Do we Thought Erasure before we explore, or do we explore before we Thought Erasure? I guess we'll Thought Erasure first, since I would like to draw land, so we can set it up a bit better. Take a Carnage Tyrant. Ooh, Thief of Sanity, so... yeah, I think we can keep a Thief on top. And then we'll attack Vivian with everyone.
So it's going to be like that, huh?
And then hope they don't find a Krasis or Chupacabra.
You can't stop nature.
But we should be able to deal with Vivian. Unless they top deck the Finality this turn. Alright. And I don't really mind suiciding some of these tokens to lands. So we can just send all the tokens at Vivian here. Ooh. Memorial's bad, since that lets them return Carnage Tyrant. Could also take the Wildgrowth Walker hostage, so we don't lose anything. But I think developing the Thief of Sanity is going to be pretty important here. So I think we just send all the tokens at Vivian. And play Thief.
Not bad.
Alright, opponent's got all lands in hand, but a Memorial that they can activate here. Lanorel's a draw. Alright, so we might be doing it here. Hero to draw. Sadly we can't take lands off of Thief of Sanity. I think we'll see what we hit with the Thief before committing to any play here, even though we could Maybe hostage take the wild growth to get a better attack in. Alright, Contempt's not bad. So what's our plan here? If we take the wild growth hostage, I guess we could also take the Lanroyals hostage to get more mana going. Don't know if that's worth it. Or the Ranger to help us find more lands. Got a lot of options. So opponent's going to be playing a Carnage Tyrant next turn. So attacking on the ground's not really an option. So if that's the case, I guess we'll go for the Jade Light. Might be able to play Jade Light plus Hero in the same turn. This is pretty bad if they do kill the hostage taker somehow, because then they get to explore with the wild growth in play. Alright, there's Carney T. Alright, opponent's finding a lot of lands. Would like some of those too. Alright, it's Jade Light here. Probably should have attacked first. Discovery... I guess Discovery's fine. Can also bounce the Carnage Tyrant at some point. Alright, so we do get wrecked by Finality here, but so be it. Ooh, I'll happily trade for this Carnage Tyrant. So let's assume our opponent picked up a Vraska's Contempt. I mean, we're happy if they try and blow up or double block on Carnage Tyrant, because then the Thief survives, which I think is more important. So this would be the obvious block on Carnage Tyrant. The block on Wild Growth would be something like this. I think this is fine. Like, I'm not too upset if they destroy one of our double blocks here. Alright, that worked. And they got another one. Fair enough. For now, I guess we'll attack with Thief and then probably play Teferi. But we'll see what we draw first. Yeah, we can Dispersal on their end step as well. So maybe that's the play. I guess since we already have a Contempt, I'll go with the Chupacabra instead. Also don't want to put Chupacabra in their graveyard in case they have a Find Finality or another Memorial. Yeah, I think I don't hate the Dispersal end of turn line for Carnage Tyrant here. Although right now we can also just block it with our stuff. If we play Teferi, they're probably attacking Teferi with Carnage Tyrant, which just buys us time. So that would also be reasonable. I think I'll go with the Dispersal line here. And see what they do. Untap land, so this is a Krasis incoming. Haven't seen any Krasis with our Thief of Sanity yet, so they're bound to find one eventually. So it could be in a bit of trouble now. If their plan is to play Krasis this turn, we might as well Dispersal the Tyrant right now, so we don't take damage. I guess that's reasonable. And then hopefully we pick up a land so we can Thought Erasure, Carnage Tyrant, and then Chupacabra or Contempt, Krasis. So I guess Chupacabra makes sense. And we can start getting more aggressive. Alright, probably with Find Finality, or could also take the Wild Growth to synergize with the Jade Light Ranger. But I'm guessing this is gonna be useful at some point. Alright, hopefully they don't just chain a million Krasis into each other. Alright, replace Carnage Tyrants. And it looks like they found an answer for the Thief, finally. Alright. And a Midnight Reaper. We could go Thought Erasure plus another Thief. Got enough power and toughness to block the Carnage Tyrants. Bellhaunt's a reasonable blocker, gains us a bit of life back. The discard's not too relevant. I think we bottom that. Would also just prefer more lands. Alright, yeah, if we minus with the Ferry on Krasis, then we can steal it with the Thief of Sanity. So that's interesting too. Alright, let's make some blocks. Land go, don't mind seeing that. So this turn we can Teferi and then untap 2 lands and contempt Reaper. Seems good. Thanks very much. Yeah, these are some grindy games for sure.
Right on schedule. You know what? I'm not done yet.
Alright, sweet. So how do we want to sideboard against Sultai? So counterspells aren't great against Krasis itself, but I imagine this Disdainful Stroke's still going to be decent. I guess it doesn't catch Carnage Tyrant. It's good against Vivian, it's good against Find Finality, Chupacabra. We want Consume for Carnage Tyrants. Yeah, Deputy is gonna get cut. I could see Ego being okay here, since the games are grindy. We do get to see most of our deck. Mortify could be cuttable. Yeah, let's cut some Mortifies. This seems okay. This seems fine. Turn to Discovery, looking for removal spells, I guess. Thief of Sanities are good too. Don't think we need the lands. I might still just campaign on 3 instead of Thief, since I guess they don't have double black yet, so they might not have a Chupacabra. But they could have a Vivian, thanks to the Llanowar Elves. I guess we'll see what they take here. Could also keep up Disdainful Stroke. Alright, they take the Stroke, so that probably means they have a Vivian in hand that they want to resolve. So playing Thief would actually be pretty bad in the face of Vivian. Yeah, this is awkward. Llanowar Elves does complicate matters. Are we ever beating a turn for Vivian here? Probably not. Yeah, this is bad. Yep.
Let's see if you're worthy.
So next turn we're probably gonna play Bellhaunt to try and pressure Vivian.
Shield.
Like, we can hope to make them discard everything they draw, but it's probably not gonna work. Could go Hero plus Discovery. But it's not like picking up Disinformation Campaign does much for us. I think we'll Bellhaunt. But yeah, if they curve out into Carnage Tyrant, it's probably game over.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
We do have Dispersal to bounce the Carnage Tyrant for a turn cycle. So if they tap out for Carnage Tyrant, we can Dispersal it, attack Vivian down to 4. Still not great, but it buys us time. Like, the alternative would be playing Hero into Thief of Sanity. They can minus Vivian for Thief, unless they have a removal spell in hand. And then we're just in the same spot, but potentially worse. Yeah, we need to draw our Consume.
Now we're getting started.
Or Vraska's Contempt would help too. Since we will be able to manage the Carnage Tyrant eventually, just with the hero making tokens. It's the Vivian that I'm more worried about. I guess we'll run it back. Just gotta do it once more.
Okay, so you've got claws.
I don't know if the Bellhaunt has claws,
Would break someone like you.
but sure. Opponent's only finding lands, probably means that they have a Krasis in hand. And there's Contempts. Alright. So now we just need to deal with Carnage Tyrants and the Krasis that they probably have in hand. Another one. Yeah, that's bad.
Come to me.
Hero into Thief, they kill Thief. Guess we'll attack first. Alright, they're jumping. We also only have a single blue, which is kind of awkward. I mean, if they're killing Thief, at least they're not plussing Vivian. Like, they might even have a removal spell lined up and just keep plussing Vivian anyway.
No one said restoration was painless.
Another one. Alright, I guess we'll get some more info for game 3 here. On land. Alright. I think we're dead here. 14 trample. Even had we played the hero before playing campaign. 3 additional toughness. Let's see. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess we would have survived had we played hero first. Might still survive here. But we're still pretty dead here. I guess I can also get back a Chupacabra, kill Bellhaunt, so we were dead on board anyway. Alright, they're not gonna go for it. Fair enough. So we go to 2 now. But yeah, they had lethal on board. Probably means they have a crisis they want to cast. Alright, that's a lot of Carnage Tyrants. So, going to game 3, we did have the Unmoored Ego, which could name Carnage Tyrant if it's really a problem. And of course can also name Krasis. Any changes? Alara's so bad against Vivian that I don't think we want her, even though she could raise Carnage Tyrant, technically speaking. For the most part, we're just hoping to Thought Erasure it, or to have enough stuff in play to just block it. Yeah, I don't think we make any changes. I think we're happy with our configuration. Alright, seems fine. Bit awkward with all the check lands, but... Alright, they do have a turn 1 laterals. Let's see what they do here. Alright, pretty tame turn 2. I sadly can't kill it. Definitely keeping one. Don't think we need to keep the second one. And then next turn we can choose what we want to do with this laterals. We could steal it with Hostage Taker, we can mortify it. Probably not contempting it. So they're probably keeping up their own contempt here. So playing Hostage Taker, not a great idea. Probably just playing Mortify. So we know they have a Vraska's Contempt in hand. They're gonna keep Reaper on top, but no 4th land. Interesting. Alright, so Hostage Taker could be a nice play on turn 6, stealing Branchwalker and replaying it right away. For now, I guess we can Bell Haunt. Seems okay. Taps out for Midnight Reaper. Ooh, Disdainful Stroke's nice too. Don't need to keep it up right now. Unless, I guess we could Hostage Take the Reaper and then keep up Disdainful Stroke for their Vraska's Contempt if they draw land. But they could also have Cast Down, so that would make that bad. Could also just Contempt the Reaper, but we might want to keep that for Planeswalker. Or we can just Discover, keep up Stroke, and then try and Hostage Take the Reaper next turn. I guess stealing Branchwalker and with Hostage Taker's fine. And if they want to chum block with the Reaper, that's fine. Like, we don't have to keep up the Disdainful Stroke this turn cycle, is the good part. Don't think we need to keep that. Opponent takes it. Alright. Did they find a land? They did not. Laterals. Keeping that Reaper on top seemed pretty greedy to me. So now we can just Contempt the Reaper, attack with everyone, keep up Stroke. 8 damage coming in. So we could just threaten lethal next turn, force them to chum block. Alright, let's see here. Chupacabra gets countered, and now they're just dead. Alright, sweet. So, opponent got stuck on 3 lands, we're able to steal that one. Seems like a reasonable hand. Could be the mirror match. Could be blue-white control. Could be turbo fog. Yep. Alright, we've got the Mortify to deal with Reclamation at least. So we'll try and keep that up now that we've established the Thief of Sanity. Alright, do we want to play around Cellar Wreckage? Don't think we do. Could play another Thief before attacking, just to make another token with Hero. Like, they didn't have Reclamation this turn, so I guess they don't have it. So I guess we might as well play Thief first. They might just fog us. Alright, we get a hit with Thief. Let's see if we can find some time walks. Reclamation could be interesting, but I guess we don't have a ton of instants to take advantage of it. So I'll take a time walk. Insights. Not sure if these decks play Cleansing Nova. I guess some of them could. It's just gonna be Teferi. Teferi we can Deputy. So they'll probably have a fog here. Yeah, this is a matchup where we... Interesting, they didn't untap any green mana, so I guess they're not keeping up fog. Works for me. So we'll just kill Teferi then, and send one Thief at our opponents. I guess one token can also go face. Makes sense.
Really should have seen that coming.
How about another Time Walk? I guess if we take all their Nexus, then they can go off. Sure. Well, if we get to turn 7, we'll be in business. And then just keep up Mortify for now, I think. Build your own Turbo Fog deck. We have the lands to get there, so... Yeah, if we cast a Nexus, it gets shuffled back into their deck. But if we cast a Nexus, then we're probably killing them, so that's fine. Alright, let's discover. Not sure what we're looking for. I guess Thought Erasure is pretty high up on our list. Alright. Let's check it out. What are they holding? Root Snares. Fair enough. So they may have mistapped their mana when they untapped with Teferi. And what is this? Cameras' Insight for card draw. Perception for card draw. Angel to try and ambush. But we can kill it with Mortify. So opponent can cast a Nexus next turn, which doesn't do a whole lot since they don't have any card draw in play to leverage it. I guess given that we have Mortify, I guess we'll take the Perception. Could also see taking the Angel there, to be honest. I guess we might still have lethal if we take 2 extra turns with Nexus, even if they do flash in the Angel to block with. Alright, that's bad. So got punished for not keeping up Mortify. Well, they're not gonna find many copies of Nexus of Fate at least. So we might have been better off if we hadn't found a Thought Erasure with the discovery there. Alright, we get to take an extra turn. We can Deputy the Wilderness and then Mortify the Angel if they try and block. The problem is if we Nexus, then they can just fog us, or they can flash in the Angel. I think step 1 is probably to attack anyway, since it doesn't change. And then we can Mortify the Angel if they try and flash it in. Or we can just Nexus. Yeah, this is interesting. I think we send. Fog, sure. So if we just Nexus now, take an extra turn, what happens? We untap and they have to have another fog essentially. I think that's fine. Ooh, they have a counterspell. Alright. Well, that's bad. Since now we didn't answer the reclamation. Well, they had one unknown card, so they weren't super likely to have it. And not all the decks play Absorb to my knowledge. Yo, I guess this is how we die.
Trust me. You'll thank me later. Hold that thought.
So again, punished for not answering the reclamation right away. Yeah, and all these copies of Camerus' Insight, giving them a ton of extra draws. And there's Nexus. Alright, I think we're dead.
Keep up the pace.
Yeah, that's flipping right away. I mean, they might not have another Nexus. Alright, so infinite mana acquired. They're floating mana. Probably just wanna jumpstart the Chemisters. Alright. No Nexus one time. Alright. So now what? Opponent's got 2 cards in hand. We've got Deputy that can answer both Reclamations or the Azcanta, as well as Mortify. That can do the same. Probably just attacking and then casting Nexus, hoping for the best. Ignoring Teferi. How much damage do we have? We've got 6 plus 4 is 10. I guess by casting Nexus first, we make it more likely that the Thief of Sanity finds another Nexus, but yeah, I don't think that matters, since if they don't have anything, they're dead anyway. Alright, let's see what we find first. Because if we find like a counterspell, then that would be nice. Root Snare, Cell. Guess I'll take a Settle. So if we Nexus and they don't have a counterspell, we win. Yeah. Alright. Oof, that was close. So how does that deck sideboard? Do they have any alternative win conditions? They might have like random Carnage Tyrants and Lyras. Definitely want our Unmoored Ego, just to name Nexus. The rest is good, Negate is good, Stroke is good. Could also Binding for their enchantment, although they do get 1 on tap step with it. Or for Teferi, seems good enough. I guess they could also have the Krasis after sideboard. Hostage Takers, okay against some of their sideboard plans presumably, but overall a bit lackluster. Bellhaunt seems cuttable since they've got a million card draw spells anyway. Yeah, we're probably cutting Deputy. Don't know how many heroes we want. We still want a bit of pressure. Campaign could be a bit too slow. We'll keep in one, I guess. I think Eldest will be okay if they have a Carnage Tyrant sideboard plan and still gets the Ferry. The random discard is less impactful. I think we'll try this. Alright, so this hand doesn't interact a whole lot, just have a Mortify and 2 tap lands. Like, it is a functional hand, it's just not a great hand. I think we mulligan this. Alright, this is better. Just 1 lands. We've got the Unmoored Ego, which we hopefully get to resolve. And we'll get to see how our opponent sideboarded. Ascanta's pretty good. Yeah, let's try and find some lands. Those are our lands. I guess we'll take the Glacial first. Alright, I mean, our opponent could have brought in some of their own counterspells. They showed us Absorb in the first game. So we might want to go end of turn Mortify and then untap Unmoored Ego them if they pass a turn. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, they can't cast Absorb, but they could have like a negate out of the sideboard pretty easily. I think that's fine. Puts Fog in Graveyard. Like, this also keeps it Mortify for Wilderness Reclamation, which they might play. Alright. And there's the Absorb. Alright, so now we get to Unmoored Ego. Mortify is not bad either. But I think we're going after Nexus here. Like, we can name Teferi, but I think Nexus is the card we're afraid of the most. Done. So they had 1 in hand, alongside Angel, Reclamation and Fog, so they decided not to play Reclamation into our Mortify, which makes sense. So we'll take this one, and we can take a nice long look at... Oh, I should have... I wanted to look at their library to see how they sideboarded. I thought there would be like a confirm button, but apparently if we select all 4 Nexus, it automatically resolves. That's awkward. A nice long look. Too late. Alright, so they have an Angel here. Sure. Can contempt the Angel. We can Mortify Ascanta. Probably want to contempt the Angel first, and then deal with the Ascanta later. Could also deal with the Reclamation. But without Nexus, Reclamation isn't as scary. I think Ascanta's carrier card. And then next turn we can Teferi if we pick up a land, also Mortify. I think that's fine. Yeah, the other line that's reasonable too is to Mortify Ascanta and keep up Stroke. But I think I want to get rid of this Angel so it doesn't pressure our Teferi. Alright, Chemister's pretty good with Reclamation. Teferi minus on Angel is also reasonable. Or we can Teferi minus on Ascanta. Alright, we did pick up the lands, so now we get to do everything we want to. Unless they have a counterspell here. Which we didn't get to check their deck to see if they had any of those. But I think we go for it.
I won't hide from the world any longer. You know what? I'm not done yet.
Alright, so now the question is, Ascanta or Reclamation, probably Ascanta since it's about to flip. And hope this works. Alright, so they still have Reclamation plus a bunch of Canisters to draw a lot of cards. But without Nexus, it's less scary.
If you show remorse, I'll
Teferi minus on Teferi.
not ready for this quite yet.
Alright. Ooh, second Ascanta. That's rough. Yeah, we might be dead now. Definitely possible we messed up the sequencing this game and we should have played Teferi minus on Angel instead of Contempt. Yeah, they can still win with just Teferi, technically speaking. Second Reclamation with Ascanta in play is still pretty relevant. Yeah, if we could have checked out their library, we could have made sure to take a look at all their alternate win conditions, but I guess we learned a valuable lesson. So the thing we have to prevent is Teferi from ultimating. If we can prevent that, then we might prevent our opponent from milling us out before we find an answer. Alright, so they have an Absorb to counter Dispersal. Could Dispersal Teferi, doesn't do a whole lot for us. They're just gonna keep finding more counter spells. And I guess we'll Discover. Or we can end of turn Dispersal. But then resetting Teferi puts it at a higher loyalty, so that's kind of bad. Mortify is reasonable, I guess. If they jumpstart it, I'll kill the Reclamation.
No time for a break.
They still have Absorb mana. Not a Reclamation. Yeah, so essentially our opponent gets to draw their entire library. And then the question is, can they kill us if they do? Probably. They've got 24 cards remaining. If they couldn't ultimate Teferi, then we might have been okay, because we'll eventually draw an answer and they'll run out of counterspells. Alright, is there a point in minusing on Teferi? Not really. Could minus on Reclamation, I suppose, but they'll just draw it.
Keep up the pace.
Alright. So their hand's not amazing. Probably the other Wilderness Reclamation, so they can't Ascanta 3 times a turn. Eldest Reborn, they've got protection thanks to the Elvish Rejuvenator, so I don't even know if this is good enough. I guess we can minus with Teferi as well and then Eldest Reborn. Sure. Alright, so opponent's gonna draw their entire deck pretty soon here. So they've found a second Teferi. So there goes our plan. Already at 5 loyalty. So yeah, the only hope is that they draw too many cards and end up having to minus Teferi on himself before they get an emblem out. And then we might be okay. Alright, so that's, I think, the third absorb. $11 cards remaining. Opponent's got to be careful here. Alright, there's Angel. That's gonna speed up their clock significantly. So they might be able to win with damage now. Yeah, Contempt would not be bad. So they're playing all 4 copies of Reclamation.
We need to move quickly.
7 cards left. 2 turns away from ultimating Teferi. Not a Reclamation. So I think our hope is that we draw a removal spell for Angel of Grace, and we're just gonna minus on Teferi so they are further away from ultimating. But they might have the last absorb in hand anyway.
I am not going to sit this one out. You need to take a time out.
Alright, I guess we'll play this. So they basically have to stop drawing cards if they have want to have a shot at ultimating a Teferi this game. And if we can kill the Angel of Grace, who knows?
This isn't a fight. You know what?
I don't think they have any counterspells left. They've used, or yeah, they have one absorb left, I think. Yeah, 1 absorb. So we'll probably need to draw 2 removal spells in a row. That's not it. So yeah, now I think we're dead. Should have kept land in hand, but
No time for a break.
I don't think the hero's gonna save us this time, sadly. Can't hope our opponent decks themselves by accident. If we didn't unmoored Ego in Nexus of Fate, we would have died ages ago. So I think it's still fine to Ego the Nexus. Alright, so any changes? I think I still like our sideboard plan. I guess we can consider Deputy as additional ways to remove the Reclamation. I don't think Lyra's the way to go, even though it blocks Angel. Like their 5 mana Angel is pretty relevant. for the most part. It's not the card I'm worried about. Yeah, let's try again. Opponent's going deep in the sideboard as well, maybe adding some extra threats after seeing Unmoored Ego. Alright. Well, there's the hand disruption. Nothing to back it up with, but I guess we'll keep. And then hope to draw out of it. First order of business, take Azcanta. Second order of business, take Reclamation, and then take the Ferry. And then maybe a Thief of Sanity to top it off would be nice. Yeah, we can do rest on turn 2 if we want to, since Azcanta is the only card we care about taking with it. And Hero seems like the thing we need here. Alright, since we're drawing a Hero, I think we will do rest on turn 1. Alright, double search for Azcanta. They have 2 tap lands, so they might not be able to play Azcanta on turn 2. I think we still take it. It's kind of awkward since we want to get the token from Hero. Like, we could gamble and just play a Hero here, and then next turn we can Thought Erasure, get a token. Or we could just Thought Erasure right now, we don't get the token, but it's more mana efficient and we get to Surveil. I guess we'll still duress. Alright, so they picked up Carnage Tyrant as their alternate win condition. Take Azcanta. Well, let's hope they just stumble on mana and we get to punish them. I think it's time for a Hero now. Gotta start applying a little bit of pressure. Thought Erasure might take Reclamation, might take Carnage Tyrant, we'll see. Well, we're definitely playing a Thief here. Alright, game plan acquired. Steal the opponent's stuff. So this is a Reclamation. And I think we'll attack first. Sure. Alright, we did actually reveal one Stellar Wreckage with one of our Thief of Sanities, didn't we? Alright, interesting spot here. I think we might just want to take the Root Snare. I mean, I guess they can play Rejuvenator next turn to ramp into Carnage Tyrant. But we might be able to beat Carnage Tyrant if we get to hit with Thief of Sanity a few times. Like, it might be greedy to take the Fog, but I think that's the way we win, just by hitting them with Thief, finding some good cards, especially if they boarded in a bunch of alternate win conditions and the Thief is going to find more action. Alright. So Rejuvenator. Yeah, giving the Turbo Fog deck more time seems like a bad plan. Alright, let's get on in there. We do still have Eldest Reborn that can also answer Carnage Tyrant cleanly. That's a nice Angel you have there. Right, so they don't have land 6. Oh, I should respond to this. In case of absorbs. So we're 1 point short of lethal here. This is Nexus of Fate. Nope. Chemister discarding a land. Hehehe. I guess we can Unmoored Ego before attacking to check for a Stellar Wreckage. Alright. And what do we name? We could just name... I mean, we're probably naming Nexus of Fate here, let's be honest. Like, we could also name Teferi, could name Chemist's Insight, could name the Carnage Tyrant they have in hand, but that doesn't matter. We already saw 2 of their Fog, so they only have 2 left in their deck. If we see Cellar Rankage, we can play around it. I think Nexus is the card that can get out of hand the most. Alright, their hand is Negate, Teferi, so they didn't negate the Ego. No Cellar Rankages we need to be concerned about. Alright, so they took out Nexus of Fate altogether. I see. So that's the response to Unmoored Ego, and which is also why they let it resolve in the first place. So their opponent leveled us. So a bunch more counterspells, negates, Carnage Tyrants, Cleansing Novas. I mean, seems like a pretty beatable deck without Nexus. And I guess we want to take a negate. Although putting the Chemisters in their graveyard is kind of bad. So I guess we'll take the Chemisters so they don't get it. And if they top deck a Cleansing Nova right now, they would be able to cast it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I know. We need to move quickly.
And that does it. Sweet. Managed to beat Banned Fogs. Well, that felt good. Alright. 4-0. Not bad, not bad. Alright, we'll be on the play. Hand looks good. Bit of a painful mana base this time around. Got turn 2 Thought Erasure into Thief of Sanity draw, which is pretty nice. Alright. Hopefully not another Turbo Fog deck. Alright, what is this? What did we run into here? 4-color control? Alright, let's take the Cry. Hostage Taker doesn't seem great here. This is going to be their Anticipate turn. Well, hopefully they don't anticipate into an answer for Thief. They don't have double blue for Absorb. Ah, that's sad. I'm sad now. Alright, this might be pretty rough if they get to cast their Perception and draw 3. The Rakdos is gone. Now it's just Esper Control splashing red essentially. Alright, we'll need to draw some action here. Teferi would be nice, more Thieves of Sanity. Another Anticipate. Alright, so they're probably looking for blue mana to unlock their double blue spells. Not sure what their win conditions are outside of Rakdos. Azcanta pretty good, but we can mortify it. Cast down, sure. Alright. Yeah, we're in a pretty rough shape here. Opponent has a counterspell and a draw 3. We have a Contempt that doesn't do anything. They tapped out main phase instead of keeping up Absorb. That's questionable. But I guess they wanted to scry. Bellhaunt, Discovery, Dispersal. I guess we'll keep both. Not sure if I'm supposed to keep a land in hand for an opposing Bellhaunt. Yeah, I think we'll keep a land in hand, you never know. Bedevil. And they still have Absorb up. Alright. We're trading blows. And campaign, so this is gonna get countered. So I think we wait, since I would like to resolve this campaign. So I'm gonna wait until we can maybe find a Thought Erasure or some other threat we want to resolve. And I played my land in case we need more mana so we can double spell more easily in the face of the counterspell. Ooh, Angrath. Well, I guess we got punished now for playing the land. Wasn't the card I pictured when we had to play around this card. Yeah, this is bad. I guess now we'll play it. That single Blood Crypt is doing some work. Let them cast Bedevil, Angrath. Yeah, we're not winning this game. But we can get a bit more information about the opponent's deck at least.
Sorry, Ashley. Hurry!
So it's just for color control. So we're just gonna sideboard for the control matchup, bring in Hand Disruption, counter spells.
Hold that thought.
But yeah, we're 0% to win this. Yeah, I mean, this game kind of hinged on our Thief of Sanity surviving, and it did not. We might have had a chance if it did. Since all their cards seem pretty good, so hitting them with Thief of Sanity seems like a good recipe. So that's a good one to know about. We didn't see any sweeper effects so far, but they might have a few of those in there too. I guess we saw the Cry of the Carnarium. Well, we were gonna draw quite a few lands here. Might as well. Could wait until they activate Azcanta so they're tapped out, but... Alright, so they're going pretty deep with 3 mana counterspells, Ionize and Absorb. Should have played our land there, of course.
Keep up the pace.
But we're just in information gathering mode here. That's a lot of 3 mana removal spells: Mortify, Bedevil, Absorb, Ionize. Like, they might be 1 and 2 offs, which makes it very difficult to play against since you don't really know what to expect. A Thought Erasure to check out their hand would be interesting. I think we gain more information than the opponent does by playing this one out. And we should be dead in a couple of turns anyway. So I would love for this resolve to get more info. Alright, so they do have a Kaya's Wrath, Mortify, Double Contempt, and good stuff. I mean, I don't think it matters what we take here. Be pretty effective here. Stellar Rankage 2, man. Not quite a singleton deck, since they are playing multiple copies of Absorb. But pretty close to it. The Teferis, Angraths. So Aldous Reborn's looking good. The rest, negate Disdainful Stroke coming in. Deputies coming out. Hostage Takers coming out. Bellhaunt is still okay. I think Hero's fine, just to apply early pressure. And let's see, any other changes? Like Thief of Sanity seems great against their deck. Like they had the Moment of Craving in the early game, but we haven't seen any cheap removal spell other than the Moment of Craving they cast on the Thief. So Stroke, negate, Duresses. Deputy is out. Taker's out. They might also have a transformational plan with their own Thief of Sanity, but we're still gonna keep in Mortifies anyway. So we need to make 3 more cuts. So could maybe shave 1 Mortify. Could see shaving some Bellhaunts. Could see shaving some Hero of Precinct 1. I guess we'll cut some heroes. Alright, this is rough. Don't think we can keep this. Alright, this is better. Sadly, no Duress or Thought Erasure to make sure the Thief survives, but we have 8 Surveil cards, so it's not like we need to go infinite with Campaign for it to be good. Well, that's a good draw. Alright, this seems pretty beatable. So we're gonna take the Moment of Craving, they're gonna play Azcanta, we're gonna play Thief. And then we have Negate to counter the Wrath. Could also take the Search for Azcanta. But then we have to wait until we can keep up Negate for Thief, which is gonna take ages. I think we just hope that the Thief gets there. If it doesn't, so be it. If it does, then great. We could still draw into a Mortify to kill Azcanta before it flips. Although Thief of Sanity helps the opponent flip Azcanta pretty quickly. Alright, they get to look for a removal spell here. They can't cast Bedevil. They can cast Mortify. 2 unknown cards. Tap land, alright. Get to hit with Thief. And Absorb seems like a nice one here. Could also take the Mortify, I guess. Mortify for Azcanta. It's probably better, since we have a negate in hand already. Like, we have 2 approaches. We can take the approach of Thief kills them before Azcanta matters, or we can try and answer the Azcanta. I think Mortify is fine here. Alright, their hand's pretty bad. Just want to make sure they can't flip the Azcanta before we get a chance to Mortify it. Alright. So managed to get a pretty quick win there with Thief of Sanity. Any changes? They showed us Moment of Craving, Mortify, Cast Down. Nothing really that stands out. I think our game plan's fine. Still have 3 Mortifies to answer their enchantments. Could make a case for additional heroes. But I think Belhaunt's probably better. Alright. This seems good. Nothing special, but functional draw. Turn 2, probably Thought Erasure. Although they will get to resolve Azcanta, but we have Mortify to destroy it. Alright, let's Thought Erasure. Alright, Syncopate, that's fine. We didn't see any super scary 4-drop that we need to keep up Disdainful Stroke for. It's mainly the 5 mana Planeswalkers that we're afraid of. So I think we can discover. Alright, more Teferis are fine, I guess. Could keep the land as well, to make sure we can cast Teferi. But we're gonna be drawing some extra cards. In the meantime, don't want to flood out. Since if they hit their land drops, we might be forced to keep up Disdainful Stroke anyway here. Oof. That's an interesting twist. If they tap out for their Planeswalker and we hit a land for Eldest Reborn, we're in good shape, but I think it's too risky to do it without a land at the ready. So I'll keep up Stroke. If they play Planeswalker, we'll counter it. And then once we do find a 5th land for Eldest Reborn, I'll feel better about tapping out. Opponent also showed us their own Eldest Reborn, so I don't think we want to play Teferi into it. I guess we have Disdainful Stroke, never mind. So we can Teferi, untap to Disdainful Stroke. If they have a counter spell, we've got a second Teferi, so that's fine. Alright. Could also get Contempted. Alright, gets absorbed. Alright, so hopefully they tap out for a Planeswalker and we Eldest Reborn it. Alright, nothing. Alright, so now I think we switch gears and try and wait until we can play Teferi with Disdainful Stroke backup, and for now we can just play Belhaunt and keep up Stroke. Yeah, Stroke doesn't counter Absorb, but it can counter Contempt before we get to untap with Teferi, and they showed us quite a few Contempts. Discards Bedevil. No red mana, so it makes sense for them to discard it. Perception, I think we have to counter. Just too many cards. And Thought Erasure. Alright, didn't see that one before. Could be out of the sideboard. Teferi. Alright, don't love our position, don't hate our position. But the fact that they know about Eldest Reborn makes it a bit less effective. Probably should have attacked first. Sure. So we could just Eldest Reborn right now. I think that's fine. Like, it's not the full value Eldest Reborn, but we'll get to make him discard and we'll get to return Teferi. I think that's good enough. Like, they could have a Mortify and destroy it, which would be sad. Another Bedevil. Well, playing for colors does not come without a cost. Definitely keeping this in hand. Kazan, perfect. Alright. Eldest is going to get us a Teferi, which hopefully takes over the game. That one will kill. Alright, this Thought Erasure might be stuck in our hand for a while. Could see playing it, could see keeping it. Any red cards they draw, we can make him discard. Like, this game is gonna go for a while. I don't think putting a 3-power creature in place is gonna do a whole lot here. I think we'll wait.
Hold that thought.
Alright, let's hero into Bellhaunt. They could be holding a land as well, who knows? Ooh, Nicol Bolas. That's not a land.
No time for a break.
There was a land. Alright. So far so good. They could top deck a Kaya's Wrath to get back in it, but we're pretty close to holding Teferi. Thought Erasure takes Thought Erasure. They get to Surveil.
Hurry.
Alright, I think we'll keep that one. Although, let's do some math. Yeah, I guess they're dead next turn anyway, don't need to make an extra token. Alright. Do we get to ult Teferi? Oh, yes, we do. And they're also just dead. Alright, let's ult Teferi.
With each turn of the clock, your reality will crumble.
Sweet. Up to 5-0. I guess we'll keep this. It's not amazing. Need to draw some lands, but it's functional. Uh-oh. Well, it's really important now that we hit our land drops to kill Steamkins. Alright, no turn to Steamkin, that's good. I think we still shock here to play hero. They'll probably kill it. Then we'll play another one. They'll probably kill that one as well. Alright, field is fine. Into shock. Or maybe another Warlord's Fury type effect, and they're considering whether or not they want to wait or cast it now. Infinite heroes. Yeah, we just gotta hit our land drops here. And those are land drops. I'll take the blue one, followed by the black-white one. No real point in attacking. Alright, so we get to cast our spells. Mortify can kill the field, can kill the Gutter Snipes and Steamkins, which are all must kill. Especially Gutter Snipes. Playing 2 heroes is tempting too, but I think the damage we take from Gutter Snipe is just a little too scary. Alright, here I don't hate playing hero into another Mortify. Could also Eldest Reborn, but I think applying pressure with hero is fine, and taking 2 should be okay given the Bellhaunt. Why no Seraph of the Scales? I think Seraph of the Scales is fine, especially if you play Lyra in the main deck, but for best of 3 we replace Lyra with Teferi since we're not going to run into mono red as often. And Teferi has been pretty strong. Shock our face. Light up the stage again. Find more cantrips. But without Gutter Snipe or Field in play, those cantrips aren't as scary. Next turn we'll have 13, so yeah, there's no real point in playing another hero. We're fine just playing Bellhaunt and a tapped Watery Grave. Play it safe. Discard Phoenix. Might actually be an advantage for the opponent. Alright, see if they can kill us. There's a Steamkin at long last. Field. Alright, so they shouldn't be able to go off. Alright. So, this is where we want Moments of Craving. Mostly for Steamkin and for Gutter Snipe. Lyra's great. Anything else? Negate's probably good enough. And I could see Binding being okay, but it is pretty slow at 4 mana. What don't we want? Thief is kind of mediocre. Hostage Takers, kind of slow too. Eldest Reborn's not amazing. Deputy's reasonable since they don't have as many Lightning Strike effects as a normal mono red version. Could even see bringing in a third. I think Thief is not great, it's just gonna die too often to the shocks. Like 3 toughness and 2 toughness is a big difference in this matchup. I think Hostage Taker comes out, and then I could see adding another Deputy. Just more interaction for the creatures, which are the scary part. I think this is reasonable, could make a case for Duress, but they still have quite a few creatures we need to answer. Maybe Eldest Reborn's bad and just bring in one Duress. Consecrate for Phoenix could be interesting, yeah. But I think we'll go without it for now. And this seems like a keep. No removal for Steamkin is the only bad thing. Yeah, soap to dodge Steamkin. I guess we picked up Deputy, which can answer it. Electrostatic Field is okay. So we'll Thought Erasure to try and hit our land drop. And take away a Gutter Snipe, potentially. Well, that's a lot of Phoenix. So if we take the Chain Whirler, then Deputy can get rid of both fields. And then Phoenix we can try and Binding. Seems okay. Definitely keeping that. Alright, we've got a game plan. Voice discarding Phoenix. Alright. So now what? We can just Discovery plus Duress. I think that's fine. We'll discover first. I think we'll take the land. And then we can Duress without having to take damage. Alright. Well, I'll take it. They've got 2 lands in hand, so... If this is a hard cast Phoenix, we can Binding it. Of course, they can still return the one from the graveyard. I guess we could also Binding the field, but then we need to answer the Phoenix. I think we Binding Phoenix. Like, it's not like they have a million discard effects in their deck. Just Tormenting Voice and then the Jumpstart on risk factors, I guess. Mortify. So we just deputy the fields. Or I guess getting their last card with Bellhaunt is pretty tempting too. Sure. And then next turn we'll deputy the fields. As it turns out, Binding on Field would have been pretty effective too. Skewer Face. Sure. Hero is not terrible. If they draw a spell next turn and have a 4/4 Steamkin, it's gonna be a little bit awkward, so we might want to Mortify the Steamkin first. The problem with Hero Keep Up Negate is they still get to grow the Steamkin up to a 4/4, and then I guess we can double block it, which is okay. Hero Keep Up Negate, double block, and trade. And then next turn Deputy, hopefully with Negate backup. I think I'll go with the Negate line. Right, just a land. Thought Erasure doesn't do a whole lot. I would prefer to play Deputy if we can keep up Negate afterwards, otherwise, I mean, I guess it's not that bad. It's not like they have Enter Battlefield abilities. Yeah, I think we'll Deputy. And we can just chum block with the token on Steamkin, if that's what we have to do. Alright, just a land. That's not bad. Alright. Don't even have to negate this, to be honest. Sweet. Alright, let's see if we can get the last one here. Alright, hand looks reasonable. Ooh, mono black aggro. Could also be Vampires or Rakdos. Alright, being on the draw could be pretty punishing here. Alright, Rakdos aggro confirmed. Alright, turn 3 Judith could definitely hurt. Think we'll have to Thought Erasure. Spawn of Mayhem and Judith, all pretty scary. And there's a spawn. And Thief, is Thief good enough? Reasonable play for next turn, blocks the Conquistador. So I guess that's good enough. We're gonna be taking some damage from our land, sadly. Don't think this is a Priest of the Forgotten Gods deck, I think it's just Rakdos aggro with Judith and Spawn of Mayhem. Yeah, we'll have to find a Bellhaunt pretty soon here. Could also see the argument for Discovery, play a tap land, look for Bellhaunts. Yeah, this would be a matchup where sweeper effects are good. Can Mortify the Reveler, block, take 3 down to 2. I mean, we're realistically dead here. Just gotta hope they didn't draw anything. Don't think we can afford to Thought Erasure. Yeah, after sideboard the matchup gets quite a bit better, I think. Land and... Contempt keeps us alive. So probably have to contempt that right now. Could also take it hostage. But I think we want the life gain from contempt. And I think we have to do it right now so we don't take 1 extra damage. Even though letting them attack would be somewhat tempting. But they're probably attacking with everyone anyway. Alright. And there's Judith. So they probably top deck that, is my guess. Otherwise we would have been dead last turn. Alright, let's adjust after sideboard here. So, this is a matchup where we want Lyra, this is a matchup where we want Moment of Craving, and this is a matchup where Deputy could be okay, deals with the tokens from the goblins. So let's make some changes here. What don't we like? Campaign doesn't seem great. Thief is not amazing, but might be good enough. Hostage Taker's reasonable against the tokens as well. Eldest Reborn's pretty bad. Could see Shaving at the Ferry. Add another Deputy. And then 1 more cut. Could be Thought Erasure. Could be Teferi. We're gonna be on the play this time. I think on the draw we'll take out Thought Erasure. On the play I think we'll keep it in. Maybe Teferi. Don't need as much card draw in this matchup. I think we want to keep Mortify to answer Spawn of Mayhem. I guess we'll try this. Alright, this looks good. Yeah, maybe we should have brought in Binding in case they have a Theodore of Horrors. Fireblade Artist, sure. Could see trading, but we'll get a token next turn from Thief of Sanity, and then we can trade. Alright, game plan acquired. So, we might even be interested in discovering for lands instead of doing anything else. They could of course have removal spells like Bedevil, like Cast Down doesn't work at least. So there's not too many removal spells that kill Lyra on the cheap. Definitely fine trading off the Hero of Precinct 1 now, I think. The earlier we trade off for their creatures, the weaker a potential Judith gets. Enforcer is interesting, another Fiend. So who knows, maybe they do have the sacrifice theme with Priest of Forgotten Gods. I'll start by attacking with Thief. Reveler's not terrible, just as a way to hit our land drops. And then I think we're discovering for land. Bellhaunt's tempting, but just need lands here. Alright, good. Could discover for land for Lyra. I guess we could also play Reveler discarding something, but all our cards are kind of good. I think we'll discard Hero. Perfect. So next turn we might actually go Discovery plus another Thief before we play Lyra, we'll see. Happy to trade Reveler for Footlight Fiend here. Alright, now we're less interested in blocking. If we block here, they get to kill Thief. How bad is that? I mean, I guess we get to play Lyra next turn. Like, do we really need the hit from Thief of Sanity to win this game? Maybe not. Yeah, if they have removal for Lyra, we're in trouble. Alright, so now we could also take a different approach where we discover and mortify. But I think it's Lyra time. If they have something like a Spawn of Mayhem, we can mortify to clear a path for Lyra. Gutter Bones is fine. Alright, perfect. And Judith will be contempted here. Alright. Should be pretty safe now. Alright, so it all comes down to one final game. 10 boosters on the line. Do we make any changes? Opponent didn't show us a lot of non-creature spells, just a bunch of creatures. Judith, Spawn of Mayhem in the first game. So I think I like our setup. They didn't show us something like a Theater of Horrors, which could be good against us potentially. Might want to take out a Thought Erasure on the draw. And maybe bring in a Binding after all. It is a reasonable answer to Judith. Yeah, I don't think we want Duress. Campaign feels too slow. Alright. This is a mulligan. Alright, we'll try this. Alright, Thought Erasure turn 2. I don't hate it. Can take Judith or Spawn of Mayhem. Let's see how aggressive they get out of the gates here. If they have a 2-drop to follow this up with. Doesn't look like it. At least no Fireblade Artist with haste. Drill Bit. Alright. Was a card we could have expected out of their sideboard. Takes Deputy. And land go. Bellhaunt was a great draw. That's a lot of Fireblade Artists. They also have a Judith. Alright, so what to take here? Probably Judith. And Binding for Fireblade Artists seems good. So we'll just Discovery for some more action next turn, and then if they found red mana we can Binding, otherwise we'll Bellhaunt. Enforcer's okay, but beatable. That's a lot of heroes. If we keep hero, then next turn we can go double hero, the turn after Bellhaunt. That's pretty good. I guess we'll keep both. And just go wide. Alright, there's a red mana. So we might have to Binding the Artist first, that's fine. We're only taking 3 here, which is still reasonable. From the remaining creatures, that is. Although they can of course just discard the Fireblade Artists to the Reveler, so it's not a dead card in their hand. Yeah, we might have to play Bellhaunt before we play the 2 heroes, sadly, we'll see. Alright, land so they can discard their hand, draw 3. That's rough. Yeah, I think we'll hero twice. At 8 life, it's not like we're up against Mono Red where they have a bunch of burn spells. Worst case scenario is Judith. And we'll happily block the Conquistador. We're not that 2-3 damage burn spell at least. Gutter Bones is fine, we'll make plenty of blockers for it. Alright, let's get this Bellhaunt out of here. Right on time. Mortify can answer any big spawns of Mayhem that they might draw. And I think we can afford to make some attacks here. Alright, best draw is probably another Bellhaunt. I'll happily put a token in front of Gutter Bones, take one from Enforcer and block Reveler with Haunt, so it's not like they have any great attacks other than the Enforcer. Alright, Bedevil on Bellhaunt makes that a little worse. So now I think we'll double block Reveler, take 3. Could also chump. Like this. They'll get to return Gutter Bones. Next turn we can Mortify the Reveler. Seems kinda bad. Footlight Fiends, alright. Well, another hero's nice. I think we're attacking. Do want to keep up the pressure here. Alright. We'll see if that goes after our face or the other hero. After hero, so we'll, I think, Mortify Gutter Bones, and we can prevent our opponent from getting it back. Oof, Judith. That's rough. Could just chump it. I guess that's reasonable too. Alright. Do we want to play the line? I think we do in case of discovery into more stuff. And I don't think we can make any great attacks now. Yeah, Enforcer we can keep chum blocking. Just gotta draw some multicolor spells at some point. Conquistador can enable Gutter Bones. Yeah, this is rough. So close. Alright, I guess we'll keep that in hand. Alright, so now what? Probably have to trade. So, like this, they get to deal 1 more damage with Judith, put us to 2. They get to return Gutter Bones. Yeah, it's looking pretty bad here, but I think we'll go with this. Bellhaunt, Vraska's Contempt, Lara, Moment of Craving would even be reasonable. Got some outs. Deputy, maybe. Not a Conquistador. Hostage Taker, is that good enough? Maybe. Definitely gonna steal Judith here. And then we even get to trigger hero 1 more time. Can we afford to attack? Probably. The problem is the Enforcer that can eventually make a Spirit token, which can threaten lethal, so we'll have to deal with that somehow. This is cutting it close. Yeah, definitely have to block both, otherwise we're dead. This makes sense. Judith only triggers on non-tokens. I guess we're attacking and hoping our opponent messes up. Yep. Close game. Oh well, so close. Definitely possible we could have won this game somehow, with slightly different play somewhere. Alara saved the day in game 2, but it didn't show up in game 3 sadly. Oh well. Still some interesting games. Let's crack some packs. Nah, let's do one by one. Thrash threats. Hopefully we don't open too much Thrash here. Sphinx of Foresight. A Rampage of the Clans. Fun build around maybe. A Rampage, another one. Alright. Are we close to completing the set, perhaps? Alright. Cindervines for the sideboard. We've got to show those Nexus decks. Another familiar. More Smothering Tides. Another Cindervines. Yeah, I think we're like hitting a pocket of cards that we haven't opened much. Ooh, gems. Did we complete the set? Did we get there? I think we did. Sweet. Yeah, give me those gems. All right. Sweet. And yeah, that's it. I want to thank everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, have a nice day. I also want to thank all my patrons for being part of the channel, and you can become a patron yourself today and decide the topic of future videos over at patreon.com/legendvd.